Baron McQueen, founder of Big Reach PR Agency.
Everything is pay to play. Let's be clear. Whether you paid to be on Forbes or you paid a PR agency to get you on Forbes, you paid.
A personal branding expert.
Will buy you if they know you, they like you, and trust you. They can't like you and they can't trust you if they don't know you.
Featured in Yahoo Finance, Business Insider, Source Magazine.
The way we do PR, I'm a therapist.
Yo, season 2 of Attractive Mindset. We are in the building back again. Listen, we're going to have an amazing season. We're going to have some crazy new guests on here. But of course, we have to bring select guests back because not everybody's going to make it back. But one of the people who's remained consistent from the first time he came on here, even before he came on here, but definitely has been moving and grooving and changing the market, adding to the market, adding value, adding to the portfolio. Since he's been on here, we got Mr. Baron McQueen himself back again.
I'm back. Round 2. It's a new year. I'm not going to do the new year, new me, but it's a year of transition for me.
So I know some of the stuff that you've been up to since the last time you was on there. Last time you was on here, it was during the first setup.
Wow.
You didn't even do the second setup.
No signs, no.
Yeah, you didn't have the second setup. It was the first setup. So that was like almost a year ago now.
Wow. That's
so in the span of 1 year, pretty much, what has the brand Baron McQueen been up to?
I spent a lot of 2023 with playing the content game. Not that I always preach the content game, but I was preaching the content game, so I had to do it. So I was consistent with these reels and chopping up these short form content and doing all of that. I don't think I'm gonna do as much in 2024 with the content, only because I don't think I seen the ROI for doing it, for the time invested, the money editing and shooting it. So it was just like, man, it did what it was supposed to do from a personal branding standpoint, but I think I won't do as much content. I'll do more like strategic content for 2024.
That's interesting because most of the people that we hear about nowadays, and even me, myself, are diving into like, I got to put out more content. I got to more, but you hitting it from a different perspective. So I want you to touch a little deeper on that as to what would be your major shift then if you're not doing that.
I think if I'm not even, like, I think I still have so much content from 2023 that nobody's even seen. I thought Instagram was the platform for me. And I think because I doubled down on Instagram so heavy and ignored all the other platforms, that's maybe why I didn't see the ROI, right? I just thought, okay, I have an audience. I want to feed them with the content. But that content performs better on Facebook, better on YouTube Shorts, better on LinkedIn. So it's just like, oh, okay, so let's not negate all that content that we create. Let's just put it on a different platform and let's just see it. So, so that's why I'm probably not as eager in 2024 to create new content because I got so much old content
utilize.
People ain't seen. So let's try it on these other platforms. Let me work on TikTok. I don't know, TikTok may be good, right? So I was just so heavy on Instagram because I thought that was where my biggest audience was.
And that's like a super nugget that you just gave a lot of people because even myself, for a point at first, I was like, damn, I'm not getting nothing on Instagram. I'm not doing this and that. Until I woke up one day and the same reel, we had posted the same reel, same caption, same hashtag, same everything on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah.
TikTok did like 300 views. Instagram did like a few hundred views the same way. What was the other one? YouTube did more. YouTube did maybe like 1,000, 1,200.
Yeah.
And then we log in on Facebook. I'm like, why is my shit blowing up like this? 1.6 million views. And I'm like, that's crazy. And then it took me understanding that the way content works is just not what I necessarily post based, but where my audience is watching and looking for certain things.
100%.
And so, yeah, I really don't care about Instagram as much anymore or most of these other platforms. YouTube and Facebook are my biggest platforms, and that's where I focus most of my attention. So people come to the Instagram. They're like, oh, you know, I don't see that much, whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, because you're not on my Facebook. You're not where my audience is.
100%. And that's been the shift for me. It's just like, oh, okay. We did the Instagram thing. Like, it was big, getting verified and all of that stuff was cool. Well, none of that stuff matters no more. So even the people that was really heavy in the content game, you'll see a lot of them. It ain't just me. Everybody stopped Instagram content. You might get one reel a week from the people that was like a reel a day, because everybody's realizing, oh man, we not playing the same game. This algorithm means nothing no more. Now reels they not pushing reels. Now they pushing carousels, and now they like, oh, let's get back to pictures. You know, that's what it was about. That's what the platform was for. But I always tell people, if you ever think about running ads, if you do them on Facebook, you get Instagram free. Yeah, literally. So like, I gotta stick with that Meta Business Suite because I'm getting the best traction. I'm getting the best analytics. The problem is my Facebook been hacked. So I haven't had my Facebook since like April.
Damn.
Been still going back and forth with them. And I had to basically give Facebook how much money this is costing me not having my Facebook because they was both linked, talking to each other.
Yeah.
So when somebody would hack my Facebook, if they ran ads on there, I would see ads of my own self on Instagram of a guy selling games to download.
Wow.
Crazy. So I was just like, look, I do like sponsored posts and things like this. Well, each post could be $500. Like, shout out to Glocally. That's a big client of mine. They pay regularly. Anything to do with the Miramar Cultural Arts Center or all of these places that I promote events, they pay well. But when I don't have my Facebook, they like, because they run the numbers too. Like, Let's be clear. They like, yo, Baron, once you do this post, you know, we gonna put our own money behind it, but I don't have the Facebook. So it's like, you know, we can't pay you the normal $500 if you just gonna do the Instagram post. You know, now you looking like $250 a post, and I'm like, nah, like, I need the whole $500.
Facts.
So but that's where I'm at with it. I let a lot of stuff go in 2023, right? I own a real estate photography company, interior design company, and a courier delivery service. I let all of that stuff go after 2023. Just to focus on Big Reach.
So that's the next thing I was gonna say. Big Reach has been getting some big reach, especially from the last time you've been on here. Like, now I'm seeing you and Big Reach literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And before, I know you talked about, you know, the pandemic, because you used to have a lot of speaking gigs and everything beforehand. Now I see that picking back up. You on flyers and you don't even know what's going on half the time.
Yeah, I feel like people that know me from the music business. It feel like rapping all over again when the club promoter put your name on a flyer and you ain't supposed to be at the club. That's what it feel like in this entrepreneurship space. But I was the guy that felt like I could do all of these businesses, right? I'm like, yo, if I got some money here doing something and there's some money here doing something, if they all hit at the same time, it's going to be lit. The problem that I wasn't realizing is I wasn't dedicating enough time to grow each, that it was just trickle in money. Yeah. But it wasn't like, what's the massive version of this look like? So I had to let some stuff go. It cost me a lot of money at the end of 2023. I'm not happy about it. I lost a lot of money. 2023 might be my worst year financially. I lost a lot of money. But me refocusing on Big Reach allowed this thing to grow faster because I'm dedicating specific time just to that. And I'm just like, all right, well, maybe I should have focused on getting one where I wanted it to be first and then do the other things, rather than trying to build them all at the same time. So
nah, facts. So in you focusing on just Big Reach now, what do you feel like has to change from where you just had it as a side quest basically to now it's the main mission? It runs everything. It's the star of the show.
Team building is the hardest to do. I've made a lot of money just by myself. So now that I have a team, it's just like I got to put extra pressure on them, because it's like, yo, I've been doing PR before I had a team and I made way more money than when now I got to pay people, right? But I feel like that pushes me a little bit harder because now I'm responsible for a lot of other people's livelihood. It's not just me and making sure my wife can eat good and do what she need to do. It's like, oh, it's people depending on me for real for this. So I gotta really go hard, because the worst I want to do is have somebody get onboarded and I can't afford to pay them.
Facts.
That feels worse. Cause then that person gonna tell some, yeah, I was over at Big Reach. It ain't all big over there. You feel me? Like
Facts.
he couldn't pay us on time, or the pay checks don't come in consistent. So it was just like, I'll rather that pressure just focusing on one. And I look at it as like, all right, if I was able to do this by myself, right? Like I think by myself from a PR standpoint, I was doing maybe like 110K a year dolo. So I'm like, if I can teach them what I do, and it's 4 or 5 of them, even if I'm not getting all of what they make, but getting my ROV percentage, you feel me? My little 18%.
You know what I'm saying?
Then it's like, okay, like I could still make my 110 plus these little 30s and 40s and 50s add up.
And that feels like the other ones that you was focused on before, because that could be the trickling money without spreading yourself thin.
There we go. So I'm like, I'm loving this new time that I have to like even when we just talked the other day, you're like, oh, when you want to do it? What you doing Tuesday? Psh, boom, on the calendar. I have flexibility, but my schedule was too chaotic because I didn't know who I had to be when I woke up in the morning. I didn't know, I'm on a real estate photographer today, or am I doing fashion photography today? Am I doing interior design today? Well, now I just wake up and I'm Big Reach and that's it. And I'm cool with that. So I should get less gray hairs in 2024.
So as, promoting Big Reach, what, for the people that don't know or didn't see the first episode, if you didn't see the first episode, you definitely want to go check out the difference from then to now for sure. Because even the demeanor, even how you say certain things, it switches, and that shows you the growth level of how people grow in real time.
Yeah.
Because we see people at one point and we think, oh yeah, this is them and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you see people who truly stay the same, who's been putting in actual work
100%.
And who grows over time. And so as far as Big Reach goes, what's the goal of Big Reach and what do you guys do?
Like, so Big Reach we're a public relations agency, PR agency, however you do it. The goal is to just put eyeballs on people's product, right? Whether it's a product base, whether it's somebody's personal brand, whether it's somebody's organization, their nonprofit. How can we put the most eyeballs on what you do? So I think people don't understand that PR it still falls under marketing, right? It still falls under advertising. You can have earned media, right? You can have paid media. You can have owned media, right? So all of those work together with PR, but you basically controlling the story about what that client's either business, service, product is to the public. That's what the public part of public relations is. If your story is ROV, right? What's the story we need to let people know about ROV, right? What is their mission statement? What is their goals? Who do they help? How do they help? All of these things. So we have to create that story based off the information we get from the client.
Okay, so when somebody onboards with you guys, say, hey, I wanted to take ROV over and I don't even know where to start with PR. What would be the directions that you would say, okay, this is what we need to do first. This is what we need from you. And this is what we're going to provide.
I think like in the PR space, there's so many different niches within PR, right? So I say we specialize more in the personal aspect of the business owner versus some people just work for the company, right?
Yeah.
Or some people just work for events, or some people might just work for whatever the case may be. For us, I love the personal aspect because I was big on the personal branding, right? So the reason I stay there is because I saw what it did for me. So that's why I feel like I could say, I'm probably not going to use the word expert, but strategist, and say, okay, the reason I know that I can do this from you is because I did this for me and I have the receipts of what that looks like. See, most PR agencies only work with the business and they never even tap into who owns it. So I feel like it's a niche for us that it's like people are going to buy from people. if we can get that owner of that company to be vulnerable enough and be in front of the camera and really tell his story, why did you start the company? Right?
You know, you actually just made my brain think in a way that I didn't think about it, because that's absolutely correct. Why do we know more about Elon Musk than Tesla? Why do we know and are willing to talk more about Jeff Bezos than Amazon or Bill Gates, Microsoft? Because
100%.
they have that personal brand around them. Damn.
So for me, it's like, because I did that for me, I feel the strongest playing in that space for a business owner, rather than just like, oh, let's just do PR for their business. It's like, nah, I would rather do PR for the business owner about the business than just, so a lot of our stuff is real personal. So I can't, you know, if I have a business that comes and say, hey man, I got a fitness line, we need PR for my fitness line, I'm not excited about that. But I'm excited about, how did you get it started? Why did you want to start a fitness line? What was it about you that was like, I'm going to go the fitness route? You could have went streetwear. You could have went high fashion. Why fitness?
Yeah.
I want that story, because that's why these businesses come into fruition, right? So for me, it's like, I'm not just the way we do PR. I'm a therapist, because I got to get to the why. Why are we doing this? Why is it so important for you to even have a business? And then what's the perception you want people to know about you? So when you leave the room, what are they talking about?
Got you.
So for me, it's like that aspect of like, how can I look at this and say, okay, that's cool with the business, but imagine you was educating the client about the business. Imagine you was providing motivation or telling them why they should be doing this. You can always educate your client. But these business owners don't be wanting to be on camera.
Nah, facts. So what are some key roles within Big Reach? So you said you hired more people to Big Reach. You know, what should somebody expect to interact with you being, of course, the head of the company?
Yeah.
They're not going to be a direct access to you. So what are some stops along the way, or people that they have to talk to?
So by the time they got to me, they probably already dealt with Brooke, right? So Brooke is my executive assistant, but she kind of oversees the account managers, right? So when we onboard, you will get a designated account manager. And this is for the term of, now it's not that I'm not accessible. I'm still overseeing it, right? We got our little Asana that we tracking, you know what I mean, the status of where the project is, but you get an account manager, right? And your account manager may be different depending on what the goal is. I may set you up with an account manager. If you just want to do PR and get press and get articles, you might have a different account manager than the person that, oh, you want to get on the news and you want to get on podcasts and you want to do that. That might be a different account manager. So the goal will be depending on where you want to go with your PR, right?
Yeah.
I recommend do it all. Like, let's get you on podcasts. Let's get you on stages. Let's get you in press, because that all working at the same time is the best for the brand. That's going to be better on Google. That's going to be better for the SEO. Imagine when I'm Googling somebody, oh yeah, that was cool. An article came up, but right under the article, he was on a podcast. And then right under that, oh, he was on Good Morning America. And yeah. So it's like, oh, now you're providing the authority in the space.
Yeah.
Because people with high domain names and domain authority got your stuff on there.
Yeah.
I trust that now than the average guy that don't have nothing.
Nah, that's dope. And so what do you feel like is the main difference with working with someone who's a beginner at their personal brand versus someone who might have gotten a following from just their service or their product, but still needs to develop their personal brand?
I think people in the PR space gotta stop lying. And I'm very transparent. Everything is pay to play. Let's be clear. Whether you paid to be on Forbes or you paid a PR agency to get you on Forbes, you paid.
Facts.
Nobody in the PR space is talking about this pay to play. It's the same thing with the music business. You pay a DJ to spin your record. It's business. Like, this is how it works. Now, there's versions of getting earned media, but you got to do something that go viral. I'm sure Cat Williams' PR agency ain't have to do much.
Yeah.
Because he got earned media from something going viral, right? Now, how do you capitalize on that? Well, he's smart. His ticket prices went up. Netflix views went up. Shout out Shannon Sharp stuff went through the roof. You
30 million.
You feel me? So it's like, yo, that's earned media, right?
Mhm.
And then if you can do a good combination of earned media, paid media, and owned media, that's what you want to do. The owned media is the content that you actually already own. Your website. You should be putting blogs and articles answering these people's questions about what you do. So if you're in the space and you in South Florida and you a plumber, you should have a blog on everything that got to do with pipes, the bathroom, the sink, educating the client, because Google will refer your content first if you are answering the public's questions. People don't even have a blog on their site. And it's like, yo, why you trying to focus on getting on Forbes? Just start on your stuff.
Facts.
And grow that. Make your, like what we do with the LinkedIn stuff. Write a little newsletter on LinkedIn. LinkedIn domain authority is high. And people not even knowing they have owned media. Your podcast is your own media.
Facts.
Imagine from every podcast episode, you wrote a blog about what that episode was and what you learned. Now you creating more rich content for Google to crawl. And that bumps your SEO up. So all of those things, but most PR agencies, they not in the marketing space. They in the, we could get you featured. And they pay a guy. It's pay to play. I'm not scared to say it's pay to play. Somebody's getting paid.
Facts.
You ain't just that great, you on Forbes. Somebody got paid.
Facts. Okay. And so what do you feel like is the biggest misconception of what a client expects from your agency?
Oh, I'll give you a perfect example. They just came to us, right? I'm like, oh, what are some of your goals? I want to be on Ellen. Be on Ellen? What have you done to get to Ellen? Oh, you a PR agency, ain't you? Get me on Ellen. So I'm like, these is the expectations people think. And what I hate about PR is Forbes is usually people's goal. They want to work their way all the way up to Forbes. And once they get to Forbes, they stop doing PR. That's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Before you get on Ellen, did you get on the local news station in your town or your city? Like, there's baby steps to this. You can't just start at Ellen. You know how I'm good. I ain't that good. That I gotta pitch Ellen, you who have no press nowhere, that you the expert. You ain't been seen nowhere else. You ain't did Good Morning America. You ain't been on ABC. You ain't even did Deco Drive here in South Florida.
Facts.
Come on, like, but that be their expectations. I want to be on Ellen. This lady asked me to be on Oprah, and Oprah don't even have a show no more. How am I gonna get you on Oprah? But that's the expectations. People have really high expectations. What I have learned, if we have a $3,000 package and a $5,000 package and a $10,000 package, the $3,000 package clients are the neediest. The $10,000 package is just send the money. And it's like, oh, somebody told me recently, when you selling and you cold calling, if you get 3 yeses in a row, you need to up your price.
Yep.
So like 3,000 might not be an option no more, but we hear some pretty outlandish expectations for PR.
So in turn with that, what would be 3 key things that you suggest people do before coming to you as a PR agency?
I recommend everybody have a website because it's going to cost you a little money to get a website up, but that's a piece of digital real estate that you own and can control. Secondly, I would tell people to make sure that their identity on platforms is uniform. If your Twitter say that you paint and you a wine connoisseur on the weekends, but your Instagram say you a tax expert, but then your YouTube tells you a travel vlogger, like all that stuff got to be uniform. Like, get it? What do you do? If I have in my bio that I'm a personal branding guy and I own Big Reach and this is what we do, that's cool. It's not that I don't do other stuff, but this is what I'm focused on, and what I need you to know why you should work with me is this. So that got to be uniform throughout. The third thing, people have this because of social media, people are scared to put stuff out that don't look perfect. And it's like, yo, we all got to start somewhere.
Facts.
My first videos on YouTube, I thought my lighting thing was nice. And I'm like looking at that. Who let me put that out? Like, the lighting was all wrong. I've realized it was recording on auto. Like, it was bad. That content still does well because the message got out. Now, did the content get better? Of course. But the not having it perfect stops a lot of people from starting. So that's what I would do, man. I would focus on building my own site. I would make sure I'm uniform on all social medias, and I would just start putting out content. It's what music artists don't do. Music artists hoard their music for a really long time. Nobody ever hears it. And it's like, yo, you got to realize we know what your favorite song is because you wrote it and rapped it. But what did the audience, what songs did they resonate with? This was what the listening party was supposed to be about. Yeah. Can I play records and hear, oh, okay, they moved a little more to that one. Oh, okay. So if you put that content out, then you get the data. And then you say, oh, okay, so they really resonated with this type of content versus this type of content. But you don't get that data if you don't put nothing out because you try and wait for it to be perfect. Everybody want these lights and stuff. And the price of this stuff scares people.
Oh, yeah.
It scares them. They like, oh, man, I got to get a light and I got a C-stand and these mics is $300 each. Oh, but the mic got an arm to it. That's another $150. Like, tape, bro. Yeah. And then they just talk themselves out of it. Like, nah, I ain't starting that. That's too big of an investment.
So do you feel like because you have a background in the music industry that it's not that different being in PR, or did that enhance what you do in PR?
Man, I would say it started from the streets to the music business to business. It's all the same. We all just play in a different industry, but the rules are still the same. The same sharks that's in the streets is the same sharks that's in the music business, is the same people that's in regular business. So I think what the music business did is it taught me how to identify the sharks. Because if you look at the music business, the music artists always change, but the executives is the same old people that been around. The L.A. Reids, the Jimmy Iovine's, these dudes still rich. The Baby Faces, all of Barry, all these people still Diddy, all these people that was those people still making money, and the artists change every year. So it's like, oh, okay, we've been playing the wrong game because the person in the front looked the richest, right? The talent always looked like the richest, and that's why everybody aspired to be the rapper or the athlete. But look at all of these old guys that been owning teams for 40 years. They still rich. And then you can go see an athlete after 5 years and he work at Publix. Right? So it's like, facts. When I started identifying that part from the music, oh, these is the real sharks. The suits. The people in the background that they don't look like they got money.
True.
Those be the ones.
Nah, very true. So last question I have is, how does a PR agency PR itself?
That's a good question. We've done a good job recently of being transparent about what PR is. And I think that's the thing where as a PR agency, I have to give value, right? I have to do my team right now is going through a PR masterclass. I pay for everybody to take this class. And then I took the class with them. It's not that I don't know PR, but as I'm building a team, I still learn something, even though I knew the space, right? So I think in any industry, you still got to be constantly growing and learning and getting knowledge. And there's some other PR agencies been in this 20 years, right? Yep. I'm sure I could learn something for them, whether it's a resource, email template, just a different perspective. So I think that part of doing it as well. I've never done events for any business I ever owned. Me doing that mixer at the Carousel Club was a version of how can I do PR for the PR agency, right?
Yeah.
So it's just these little things, and I'm still learning. It's like, oh, okay. I never really wanted to do no mixers, but I like what it did, right? That's PR for us. This is like, now I can show that. Shout out to Big Dan on the video, right? Now I can show them, oh man, this is what an event will look like. Come through. We bring in business people and creative people in the same room and making them talk, right? Because let's face it, the business people ain't creative and the creative people suck at business.
Facts.
So we put them in the room together, some magic may happen. And if we could facilitate that, then cool. So it'll be new steps of us doing PR. But the mixers is like something I want to probably do more in 2024. Like, how can we do that and actually highlight other businesses?
Got you. Okay. And so, you know, if people wanted to work with Big PR, you know, Big Reach PR, everything like that, you know, first y'all got to talk to Brooke. But once they do that, you know, how could they find you? What's the process? All of that.
Yeah. You could go to bigreachpr.com. We got a little form on there that you could fill out. And then we always like to do a discovery call. I like to do a discovery lunch, right? It's on us, but I like to really sit and understand. I've had so many lunches with people who thought they was ready for PR and they like, oh, that's too much. I got a case pending. I can't be putting myself out there and personal brand. I gotta run this by the lawyer. It's like, oh, cool. Like, so I've spent plenty of money on lunches and people never became clients, but I felt like that in person helped to either get us to the next level and say, okay, we could go to the next step, or nah, this might not be a good fit right now for both of us. So start off on a website with the forum. Somebody from the team, probably a Brooke, will reach out. We'll probably have a lunch or a Zoom or something. I like lunch though, if you local. If not, we could do the Zoom. And then we go from there. We just armboard you, right? What's the goals? What's your expectations? And we do SWOT analysis, right? So what's your strengths, your weaknesses, your obstacles, and what are potential threats, right? That's what the acronym for the SWOT is. And we break that down. Like, I have a client now. She started a music studio. Well, it's competition here. It's heavy in Miami for somebody starting a music studio because they're every 2 miles is a different one. Same thing with photos and podcasts. It's a competitive market because everybody want to be here. And we just go through all of that. Like, hey, what are these strengths? What are these weaknesses? Where are the opportunities that, okay, maybe we could do our system different. Maybe we might not do the subscription model. Maybe we might do something else to just separate us from everybody else that do what it is. And then from there, we kind of just set some milestones, and those small wins build momentum. So.
And that's dope. I'm gonna add that to my course. I'm letting you know now, sir. When you see it, you're gonna be like, "This guy rich. This guy rich, man." Hey, listen. Hey, that was gems right there. Yo, hey, listen. You got to utilize the gems, and I'm gonna shout them out when I do it because I'm gonna teach my mentees, whoever. I'll be like, "Look, this is the SWOT analysis. What is y'all strengths? What is y'all weaknesses? What obstacles you got in the way, and what threats you got there? Hey, this is Big Reach PR right here. This is what they do on an intensive level. We're gonna do it with you on a little breakdown level. Yeah, listen, I got it lined up already.
It's important.
Thank you for that.
It's important, man, because that's I think some business people need to see that in front of them, like on paper. Like, oh my gosh, these is the obstacles I'm facing. Oh, okay, these are the opportunities. Oh, these is potential threats. Like in her space, she's a recording studio, right? She got to be up on the latest technology in that space because now, because of AI and all of these things, everybody can have a home studio and still be fine. So it's like, what you gonna do differently that's gonna make me want to come to the studio? Because I'm comfortable recording in the bedroom. With my little MacBook and a little Logic Pro and a good mic, and I'm straight for the cheap. Why I'm gonna pay $150 an hour just to be able, because it looked good for the gram. Yeah. And no music don't get created. So it's like, that's a threat. Like, you dealing with the technology changes. Now in the music studios, all of the records that come out should now be recorded in Dolby Atmos. Most people's studios are not set up to do Dolby Atmos.
Facts. We just had a presentation at Podfest. We sat in the car and went through a whole Dolby Atmos experience.
That's the new standard for music sounding like movies, right?
Yep.
So if your studio ain't even ahead of where the technology is headed, you already behind. So it's just those things. But that all comes in the SWOT analysis. So we in there.
Listen,
we in there, man. I'll probably have this information because I'm fresh off the course too, bro. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
This was the right time to have it.
Hey, I'm fresh off the course.
Listen, we just appreciate you coming back again. You know, obviously a high level conversation. You taught us a lot about PR, what to do with PR, what not to do with PR, what to expect from PR. You know, so anybody that's watching this, make sure y'all tap in with him, Baron McQueen. If they want to tap in with you and just follow what you got going on, where could they do that?
Yeah, all my stuff is Baron McQueen, BARION, last name McQueen, like lightning. And that's where the hub is. Wherever you like to consume content, it's probably on the main site, whether it's any social media platform, but that's the hub, Baron McQueen. So, and because we do good PR, I am Googleable. So if you want to just Google it, my website will be the first link that pops up.
There you go. He's a testimony of his own services, and that goes to show you how well a company works as well, because just look at what they're doing for themselves. And so again, appreciate you coming on. You know, usually I say, hey, we're gonna give y'all one free thing, but hey, his shit looking like 3-5K. We love y'all, but not that much. But again, this is Attractive Mindset. If you like this, make sure that you just share it with a friend, you know, somebody who you think might need PR or who just needs to hear a good conversation happen. And it's your host, Moneybag Rich, also known as Mastermind Rich. And as we always say, we look good, we live good, life is good. Talk to us, we talk back, and we out of here.